We're starting a little bit late, just so you know. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas. And we're going to have with us shortly Drake Bailey. He's going to be a few minutes late, so while we're waiting for him, I'm going to run one of my commercials just for kicks and giggles to take up a little time while he gets on board here, and he'll be here within 5 minutes or so. So don't be concerned. I'll be right back.
Free Range with Gail of Gaia is honored to be affiliated with MyNutra, makers of hemp paste. Hemp paste is a whole food product that still contains most, if not all, of the terpenes, phytonutrients, essential elements, and CBDs of the raw hemp plant. CBD oil manufacturing methods strip away living essential elements, leaving only one, a dead CBD oil. CBD oil alone simply cannot support the entourage effect that occurs when hemp pastes essential nutrients go to work to support your optimum health. Almost 200 terpenes and over 500 other phytonutrients work together with a synergistic effect that simply doesn't happen with CBD oil alone. Visit hemppaste.gailofgaia.com. That's hemppaste.gailofgaia.com to learn more, and be sure to check out the impressive array of hemp-enriched products while you're there. That website again, hemppaste.gailofgaia.com. That's hemppaste.gailofgaia.com.
Once again, Drake's not here yet, but he'll be here shortly. So you'll have to excuse. I might as well run these commercials. And if you do try these products, I really appreciate it because it helps us support the program. And this is listener supported because I don't get paid for anything that I do, except whatever you contribute. And I'm sure Drake will be here shortly. So here's another quick little commercial.
Free Range is pleased to present Modexus and the Superfruit Lanacerulia. The Modexus product is a life at the cellular with that something to help resort to stimulants. Free Range is pleased to present Modexus and the Superfruit Lanacerulia. The cornerstone of Modexus products, Lanacerulia is a superfood that supports life at the cellular level. Whether you're looking for a longevity product with added glutathione and ATP, something to help lift you through the day without having to resort to stimulants like caffeine or acidic energy drinks, or just seeking a natural solution to support stress management, Modexus also has a natural approach to pain management. Its Relieve product is unique in its ability to support the body's own pain management system. It's been said you'll notice a difference the very first day. The second day, you'll be loving the products, and the third day, we'll be telling friends about Modexus. Visit modexus.gailofgaia.com to learn more and to see what other people are saying about these quality products. That's modexus.gailofgaia.com.
Okay, Drake is here. Drake's in the backstage, I guess you can call it. And anyway, sorry about that on Modexus. I don't know. They're apparently one of those programs is not has got glitches in it. So anyway, without further ado, here is Mr. Drake Bailey. How you doing, Drake? Oh, let me unmute you. I got to unmute you. There. Okay, you're unmuted. You can talk now.
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, actually real good. And happy to be here and happy to be back doing a regular show with you. Many people have missed you, and you had a lot of views on the last time we had the show. So I think as best we can and be a little bit mindful of what we talk about, because you know how they are with all the censorship. More people are able to see the show when I can keep it on YouTube. So if we can talk in code, because we're no longer free in America, but we're getting back to being free again, I like to believe. And I do have some questions for you as well, Drake. But if you want to give us updates, either from a galactic standpoint or from a just an intel update that they won't shut us down for. Anyway, go for it. Do you have any current information you want to share?
Well, I'm trying to figure out the numerics of the date involved in the transition, and that is not something that's easy. You got to know ancient as well as modern math. You have to be able to convert it, and you have to be able to understand it. Most people know what a palindrome is. That's a number that if you read it frontwards or backwards, it's the same. Okay, palindrome is interesting in its applications. Many of the dates that everybody is familiar with in terms of numerics of this type aren't familiar with the true dates. To go along with that, it can get complicated from the standpoint of somebody just simply understanding 2 plus 2 still equals 4, whether anybody likes it or not. That ain't my problem. The the problem is that you have things like a truth statement in mathematics that is somewhat bogus. They'll say 1 minus 1 equals 0. Well, the only problem is that there is no 0. 0 does not exist. You can use a decimal point to say 1.1. That's different. 1.1. That's totally different. The problem with 0 is that there is no known place or condition that allows nothing. Remember that.
Okay.
Well, you can look at all of creation, you can look through the text, you can do all your homework or whatever. And if you look, there's always something there. And that's kind of interesting when people come up with these, and I quote this loosely, truth statements. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really. It's hard to tell what the truth is nowadays. You know,
well, the message from the Palladian messenger stated that the transition would take place in 222. You get into the month, that's February. Okay, you get into the day, you might get into more numerics than you thought. What I'm trying to figure out is the exact day. I know about what time it's going to take place, but the time of day, and this is going to really screw with everybody.
in the middle of the night.
The idea of time is something that we came up with. It's not exactly according to any kind of something that would be in charge of anything. I forgot something. Let me unplug my phone.
Okay, good. I unplugged mine. That's what I meant when I was talking about.
There we go.
Ambient can be screwy in the past.
But
now we got an echo.
Do we do now?
At least I did anyway. Oh, now it's gone.
Is it gone?
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
Okay.
We're good again.
All right. The idea that of time from our perspective is different than that from upstairs. Now there is one time, and that is sort of an interdimensional. That's more one dimension of time that is referenced on a universal scale. The universes, and I know there's multiverses, there's many universes, all have one basic time that does what everybody would be looking for. I'm trying to equate that, or translate it, which ain't easy, from what they say in their time into our times. It's a lot of fun, believe me, especially when you don't speak the language.
Okay. That's kind of what I meant when I said time's kind of screwed up in the last show. That's what I was getting at. And I heard this was from a drama dancer, so this is from a different group. I think I remember Alex saying something to the effect that one day here is like a month there. And
Well, no, you can't.
when
You
he
can't.
was on, let me finish. When he was on a
Okay.
ship, what happened was the people that were the ones that were monitoring him were thought there was something seriously wrong with him because he slept a lot. And it seemed that way to them because, like, their day and our month are two different things. Or I don't remember if it's exactly a month or whatever. But the time that he was dealing with those beings was totally different than ours, and so they thought he was sick or something because he slept so much. But we all sleep, on a daily basis, and if their day, just as an example, if their day in our month is different, then that's going to be different,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Our the thing is that man thinks he's all that, and he therefore has made his own decisions about concepts. Those may not be valid, and that's one of the problems. The second problem is that actual literal time here, where we're at, where I'm sitting, where you're at, is different than that which you would find if you were in deep space on the other side of the galaxy, etc. And that the time difference, like a time zone, is really something. I see somebody's got a question.
I have. I'm kind of happy that I got some questions for you that were sent in, actually.
I got one in the chat that says
What chat is it?
the one on the right, where the viewers put their 10 cents worth.
Oh,
Will
okay.
the magics
I
reveal
want.
themselves publicly to the world in one real-time live event? Yes, they will.
Okay. The only thing about that is if sometimes I did this on another show and it got to be really hard to keep up with. So as long as people don't get totally carried away on their questions, otherwise I'm going to shut it off because I got questions to use. But anyway, let's
Okay.
let's go
What
with.
questions you got?
I got some questions here. It says this is from one of our listeners from the past, and by the way, many people wanted us to continue doing this on a regular basis. So that's okay. Here's the first question: will the period between Christmas and New Year be anything out of the ordinary?
Not really. It'll be similar to what it's always been. Here's the thing. Okay, we're not going to be subject to changes of that nature yet. That comes after the transition. You make the transition, that puts everybody, no matter who you might think you are, on the same level playing field. Now, one of the things everybody's been hollering about, but is that we should have equity, we should have equality, and all this other stuff. But I don't think anybody really realizes or understands exactly what's going to take place in terms of the transition and the changes coming. Those changes will make everybody equal, like it or not. Now, there's going to be
like
some.
that.
Well, there goes to be some mucky mucks that really detest that stuff.
Well, you have the people that have substantially more than other people, and they think they're better and all that kind of stuff, and they're not. So, anyway, the next question that I have here that someone sent in: when starseeds are finished having their bodies enhanced by their ET star families, will they ascend or be taken on their ships and go places? If so, for what purpose?
Well, you don't have there's no, forget the word ascension and use the word transition. And there's a reason for that, because they are completely, totally different things. Now, you want to get into the nitty gritty. there are certain people, I am one of them, who are to receive the use of a starship, and it's more or less sort of like a scout ship. It's not really anything tremendous or anything of that sort. It's just a neat way to travel. In other words, um, say you wanted to go from the desert Southwest to New York City, it'd take you 5 minutes total time from taking off to touchdown. 5 minutes. Now, that would be greatly advantageous to a lot of people, and so you can look at it at those things. Now, there's something here I noticed. Police beat up an arrest unjabbed diners in Applebee's, and that was on Gab. And let's see, who is that? Come back here.
Let me see if I can scroll.
It was Tammy Waite. Would you tell me, Tammy, where that took place, please?
New York Applebee's is. I don't know if that's she meant. She's from New York, or that's where it happened.
It didn't say here on her little question.
It's from YouTube, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, here's Tammy says New York Applebee's. Okay. Well, why do you think people are leaving places like New York and California? I'm being serious. What's happened is that you cannot enforce something that's unenforceable, that has been adjudicated to be non-enforceable by several judges in such a manner where you got the problems, and it's a main problem of idiots that take the law into their own hands. Okay, if it was me and they tried that, I'm not nice. I have a tendency to pull my gun out and just start popping people. And if that's what they're going to do, is jump on you and want to beat the whatever out of you because you didn't take their friggin' shot. I'll give them a shot they won't like.
Well, that's an assault with a deadly weapon. But anyway.
Well, yeah. Well, so is the policeman who beats up somebody, goes to beat up somebody. I'm an older person. You don't beat me up. You want to take me to court over that? Fine. I can hash with the best of them in court, and they won't like that either, because it won't be a local court. It will be federal court, and it'll be ruled over or presided over by one of the judges that already said no. Well, what part of no don't you understand, New York and police and whoever else? Very simple.
Yeah, you would think that police are people too. They're part of we the people, but who are they being loyal to, the corporations or the people?
The corporations,
unfortunately. Yes.
My last show, I covered the situation of a 4-part socioeconomic structure. One is tribes. That's a group of people. It can be a bowling team, whatever. Then you got a dynasty. Now, this is where you have one or more tribes who last for a long time and exert a great deal of authority in their area. Then you have kingdoms. We have a United Kingdom, royal family, oligarch, the whole bit, called Great Britain. And then you have kingdoms, and these are areas where several dynasties have come together to form one. Each one of those dynasties, agrees with the other kingdoms to do certain things, accomplish certain things, and have certain things. What has happened and transpired, and everybody knows these people as the cabal. We have now an empire. Now, there's only one country that has an empire state building. That's us. And where is it located? Oh my goodness, right in the middle of New York. Well, I hate to tell you, but the empire and the Kabbalists who run it, they're in trouble. And I mean deep trouble. They have been told unequivocally that they are to surrender all their goodies, and head for the exit, ET will show them where. Now, even if all of this is horse manure or
Horse
fantasy, or
hockey.
yeah, any kind of horse manure you want to pick up, horse hockey or otherwise.
Yeah. Sorry.
The thing about this is that the people have had enough of the ring around the rosy and absolute authoritarianism by governments in general that they're not going to take it, no matter how nasty or bad it gets. And I'm telling you, the surge in firearms, I'm talking about sales and ammunition to private citizens, is humongous. It's 5, 6, 10 times what it was even 2 years ago. What this means is that even grandma is getting her 45 and ammunition ready to go, and you're going to have a whole bunch of people that have an attitude problem. In other words, they're pissed off, and who are they going to take it out on? The government.
And it's moving in. I mean, the government is not being for the people like it should be. And
Yeah.
the bar mafia is part of the problem as well. So anyway, we got to be a little bit careful what we say on this stream, everyone, just so you're aware of that, because we want to keep it up on YouTube. So I'm going to ask you, I hate to do this. I really do. It's just, it's wrong. It's not our country. But that's what's happening right now.
Yes.
You get censored. We're supposed to have free speech. Well, I want my free speech back. Don't you, Drake?
Oh, yeah. That's one of the things the transition does give us back, by the way.
Thank goodness for that. That'll be a relief. Okay, here's another question. Is Starseed's DNA activation depending on outside events like the storm and on the progress of planetary liberation?
Climatary liberation.
The planet being liberated from the controllers of the planet.
Well, some ET friends of mine and I went and destroyed the control matrix that used to be on this planet. That's how come there is so much so-called freedom presently. As soon as that was realized, the cabal clamped down. All of your woke people.
It's funny you use that term. Yeah. Okay.
They come crawling out of the woodwork like a bunch of scared cockroaches and have been trying to take over. Okay, you don't have to abide by a mandate. Okay, now this is by governor or president or whoever, unless it's been legislated each time. Now, everybody needs to understand that it's not legal. Period. Constitution says so. Yeah, well, the Constitution says so. So, consequently, we have a situation where people think they're junior ayatollahs or something, and they are in absolute control of everything and everybody, and that ain't the case. Okay, they're trying to say, "Oh, shut down if you don't get the vax." Well, I hate to tell them, but when they quit playing games with the vaccination, so well, no,
the jab.
I'm gonna be nice if you let me finish. Very simply, the vax. The games they're playing with the vax in terms of we're going to shut you down has got to quit. And the reason it does is because you have a majority of the population, and I'm talking about 200 million people. Think about it. 2/3 are fed up with it. Now, if you don't want civil war, I would suggest you quit pushing. I'm just a little advice, heads up, and there it is. See, I told you to be clean.
Well, they're so ridiculous out there, and I can't afford strikes on my channel. But at the same time, it's very upsetting that this is being allowed to continue, and it is unlawful, and it is unconstitutional. And I have another question for you. Are starseeds who have been operated on by their ET star families for a period of time going to be the first wave of transition?
No. Everybody transitions all together, including the bugs. Even cockroaches go. I don't really appreciate that, but I guess we need them for something.
Okay. They are. They have been around for a long time. I'll give them that. I
Yeah.
don't like them either, though. Okay, here's another one. Was it safe to sign Cobra's petition for first contact? Will it bring us closer to the revelation? I'm not familiar with his petition.
No. The answer to that is no, and you can't base the transition on any form of biblical or other spiritual writings, because that's not the way it is. The transition, very simply, is an evolutionary event. It's like the idea of when man climbed down out of the trees, quit being monkeys, and started being people. That kind of transition, when we decided to not be stupid monkeys and get smart. And there's a lot of people that have been having trouble dealing with all that. Hey, if they don't want the answer, don't ask the question.
Okay, here's another one. And I've heard mixed things about that. As Cobra's mass meditation on December 21st was a success with critical mass reach, what do people and ETs upstairs have to say about its ramifications?
Well, you got to understand one thing. When we have the transition, COVID and all that stuff, poof, it's gone. So
Okay.
I could get into the medical end of the vaccinations, because
Be careful with those words,
I
please.
just listened.
Well, they take my channel down. So anyway, go ahead.
The reason I got interested was to really know what's going on, and I found out, and I'm not going to say it on here. How about that?
Okay.
See?
You can't speak in code, so to speak, as other people do.
There isn't any code to be speaking plain English.
Well,
if I have to
I
speak,
can't help it that they censor people, and it's my channel that goes down, and I don't want that to happen, and neither do you, because then we can't do the show. But
okay.
they're just it's just ridiculous. It shouldn't be happening, period.
I agree. And it will cease all this stuff that's going on that's adverse to freedom of speech and questions and all that will be rectified.
Thank goodness. It'll be so much more fun to be able to feel like you can just talk freely and say whatever you want.
Yeah.
And
the thing about it, one of the things I did on my Facebook page was to allow people to say all kind of nasty things, no matter what it was. And I noticed a trend, and that is that when people read it, if they bothered, they didn't pay any attention to it. They got no likes, no hits, no nothing. So they were spinning their wheels and didn't even know it. Hopefully, a few of them maybe have realized what the difference between free speech and being nasty is. And that's basically what I decided to use the Facebook page to do, and it worked well.
Well, yeah, sometimes people come on and they make nasty comments, and it's like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Or if you want to say nasty stuff, go away. Go to somebody else's channel. That's the way I've gotten. I don't even, or I'll delete it anyway, because it's just mean. It's mean spirited, and
well,
that.
If you wanted to get into the nitty gritty of it, they want to say something nasty, have them say it on their Facebook page to see how long they last.
Yeah, really. Okay, here's another question. What qualifies a star seed to be in the first wave of transition? But that's, again, you already answered that, though. There's not different stages, right?
Well, a star seed supposedly is someone from outside our solar system that gets incarnated here on Earth. And that's all well and good, and they help a bunch, and they have understandings that we need, but they're not first in anything else.
Exactly.
Just that simple. Everybody and all the bugs, all the good. I don't know if mosquitoes go or not. I hope not. But
I hope not.
all of the critters, everything goes. And I mean, it goes at the same time when we get blasted, the planet gets blasted, the solar system gets blasted, and poof, there you are.
Let's see. Let me give you another question while I anyway. Okay, they keep going back to star seeds like they're special, and that's not the intention. They came here to help the transition manifest. Because they tend to be more aware, but they had to wake up too, just like everybody else. But anyway, if star seeds get activated light bodies, what will they be able to do with it?
Well, that's going to be an interesting situation in terms of some of the schooling that you'll get in the classes. It explains the relationship between you, the light body, etc. Now, I got a question in the chat. I see. Am I related to Jesse Essex? No. That took care of that one real quick.
Okay.
Well,
all right. What? Let me see what else.
People want to know, and they would like to know a lot more about me. And the problem is that I am an incarnate, and you can learn about my physical self, but it gets difficult to learn about what it is that's inside and where that came from.
The spiritual self. Yeah. Okay.
We get into some medical and whatnot things that 20th century medicine isn't ready for. Put it that way.
Okay. Next question.
Yes.
Was Moses able to part the Red Sea because of the knowledge he received in ancient Egyptian mystery schools?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm not going to say definitely because I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Okay. Did ancient Egyptian priests all have RH negative blood? People try to make much more of that.
You can play blood type all day long, and it doesn't do you any good. RH of whatever is just blood.
Thank you. I've heard a lot about that, and then it's just ridiculous. It's another way to divide people, really.
Well, it's even also, my knowledge is superior.
Exactly. Or you're a reptilian Draco. I've heard that one too. So, okay. Were the Anunnaki and the Nephilim the only races on Earth with elongated skulls?
No. And I'll let you guys do your homework on that one. You ever hear of ancient aliens on TV? Oh, you might go watch that show about the elongated skulls. It covers that, answers that question. Ha ha.
Okay, next question. According to Cobra, Pleiadians will first contact selected humans. In what way will they be contacted? That's, again, people trying to put themselves above other people, which isn't the case. Is that correct?
Well, there's one basic problem with the question. It wasn't the Pleiadians who were first. It was the Assyrians. And then you want to take it a step further. The Pleiadians came and helped what knowledge had been dispersed on that level from them, from the Assyrians, and advanced it a little bit further. And so both of those groups, both of those planets, both of those peoples work in conjunction for our benefit. Okay.
Yeah, all those different ET races are actually trying to help as much as they can.
Exactly. When you get millions going in and out in terms of the protection force, it can give you make your head spin as to how many there are different. What's neat? I'll tell you what's neat. If we ever really get a good look, you'll find out that each one of their spaceships is a little different than the other one. You get different, different yellow cabs coming in at the same time.
They said that you're Merlin. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, one thing I want to make perfectly clear: there's been a lot of talk about cigar-shaped ships. Very, very, very few are scientifically oriented expeditions. The rest of them, you're going to love this, are tour buses. They want to say, "Oh, look, there's a human, my, and they get pictures and all that, I guess.
Goldie said that the Syrians have elongated skulls. I didn't know that.
Just
How long is elongated too? I think I've heard that it varies considerably.
people say I got a big head, but I don't know about that. The elongation of skulls was before the transition was made to where the brain cells were more compact and fit into the normal size cranium, such as the ones that everybody's familiar with here now. So you have old and new. Okay.
Okay. You can still fit the same amount of brains in a smaller head. Is that correct?
Yeah. It puts them together. It puts them together in a different sort of way, but resulting in the same thing. In other words, they have a superior capacity in terms of their brains than we do. That's just part of it.
Okay, there were a number of. We're getting a bunch of little questions now, but there was talk about the cabal being summoned down to Antarctica, and they were supposed to hand over frequency keys and dark magic spells and all that kind of stuff. They were supposed to be neutralized. Do you know anything about that, or if that occurred, or will there be through a portal to another planet so that they can't come back? You have.
Oh no, are you okay?
That was put out by Michael Salas and Elena Denal
Well,
and several others.
Are you talking about the Nephilim and all them?
The bad guys, yeah, basically.
Okay,
yeah.
well, you don't. Here's the thing. To them and what they do, there is no good and evil. There is no bad or good. Everything is done for a very specific reason. The thing that you get into is that the ones we found that were asleep at the pole have been wired up with minds. If they sneeze too hard, they blow up. And they know what we've done. So consequently, they're being cool. They lay there. Even if they wake up, they don't move. Okay?
Are they Cain's bloodline?
Are they what?
Cain's bloodline?
They're extraterrestrial in origin.
Okay. Now, when they call them fallen angels, is that a fall from consciousness or a fall from a dimensional fall?
Oh boy, now you're talking about something that's different from what the spiritual end of things are supposed to be. From what I've been able to find out, there is no fallen angels. There's angels that have come from differing places that decided among themselves to do certain things. And they didn't fall, they swooped down. Oh, they got wings, they swooped down and snatched up the pretty girls and did them. Oh, and then we got these giants, and then we got the big flood, and all that, and it just goes ring around the rosy. Now, the thing that I have found is that what transpired from the taking of the young ladies was a half-breed race that looks just as human as anybody else, and yet at the same time has the superior knowledge and capabilities of an ET. And that would be a formidable person to play poker with, I'll tell you.
They could probably read your hand.
Well, man.
Were Egyptian god Thoth and goddess M.A.' twin flames?
Were they a what?
Twin flames. Everybody's
No.
twin flames here lately.
No, that is stuff that man has come up with to try to make excuses for stuff he don't understand.
Ah, okay. Well, one of the things that I've heard too is like it's two people with one higher self. They
No,
come from the
not
same higher
possible.
self. That's what some people are saying out there. I'm
Now,
just telling
now
you what they're
you
saying.
can biolocate. You can locate yourself physically in more than one location. In order to do so, you really got to know what you're doing.
Well, can you have more than one physical body? That's what they're talking about.
That's what I was just explaining. You can biolocate where you would have more than one physical body. All right. But that does not, you do not continue in that manner. It's not possible. You eventually come back together and reform your singular self.
Okay, let's see here. Um, I got questions on one of my computers and I got questions on the chat here. So let's ask this other one here. Will ascended masters physically appear on Earth after the event?
Ascended masters is our idea of the way things should be. Not it doesn't come from the spiritual realm and it doesn't come from ET. So it's all ours. Now, if
It's
anybody
made
wants to
up.
play with that, they can go right ahead. If one of the and let's use this loosely, ascended masters and superior beings wants to come on the show, I'm sure we can arrange an interview.
I've also heard the argument that we're all ascended masters. That's why we came here to help ascend the planet. But that's a whole nother story. Anyway, is there a correlation between the seven trumpets from the Bible and Donald Trump?
Only what he's accepted in spirituality.
Why is the U.S. military allowed to be harmed with, since the military will be used to remove a fake president and in arresting cabal members?
Oh, okay. The if the ET's directive is not followed, our military, along with a whole bunch of others from around the world, will swoop down and take those people to where they need to be and toss them in. Well, you want to put them in a trash can anyway. At least I do. I mean, I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear somebody's head at the other side of the
Or how about how about
dumpster.
how about shark infested waters?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Give
what
you a
does
resurrection you won't forget.
what does one become? How does one become a double for Mr. Biden?
Well, it's not exactly that simple. You can't become a devil, first of all, because you're not of that realm. Secondly, the deviling realms were manufactured and made up by the church. Oops. Oh
Oops,
my God. What do you mean you can't go to hell? That's right.
there
Why?
is no
Because
hell
it doesn't exist. If
unless you
you
want
take
to.
a look at the ancient texts and the nice little writings that they carve into rocks, you will find that the only direction you can go is up. I think that's pretty cool.
Okay, what's going on in the astral? Any special news on what's going on there?
Astral.
The astral plane?
Oh, the astral plane. Yeah, it has gotten extraordinarily busy, but it's busy with entities looking for a way out. The ones that don't want to go through the portal to where the to the primitive planet they're planning to send them to. They don't want to become pioneers. Oh, I don't want to chop wood. And it goes from there.
Okay. By the way, I just put up a little note for getnews.gailofgaia.com. You can sign up for the newsletter we put out, and then we put the videos that you may have missed on that newsletter. So this show that we're doing right now will go on the next newsletter. And sometimes we get a little behind because there's a lot of work to all this. But anyway, that's what that's all about, just so you know that.
Mm.
Okay, back to the Thank you for Merry Christmas to everyone as well. Thank you
Oh
so
yeah.
much. Let's see. Someone asked, what clone android actor, whatever. What was the question before that? Um, how much? How much longer will they allow this jabbing to go on, which is harming a lot
That's
of
up to the
people?
people at this point because you're in 3D. Before the transition, it's man's day of judgment. And if we judge that everything that they're doing along the lines of ring around the rosy and knee jerk reactions are such that we can't stand it anymore, there's going to be Civil War II.
Wouldn't it be best if people would just peacefully comply and say no? They're not going to
Well,
do
then
this
then
or
you
they're
get
not
then
going
you
to
get
do
beat up
that.
like those people at Applebee's that weren't vaccinated. You have to understand these. There are a whole bunch of people that have gone over the top in service to the cabal. And there's a whole bunch of people that are in that position that are going to go.
That's good because they're not for we the people. They have become minions of the bad guys.
Yep.
So unless they turn their ways around, that would be something that they really should think seriously about. Let me see what other questions we have in here. Who, okay, a potential future, wait a minute. There could be, okay, I can't say some of this stuff, so I got to be careful. Who will be trained to run electric plants, water plants, sewer maintenance, natural gas plants, internet services for the survivors? Because we're noticing employee shortages already due to some of the issues that have happened along the
We've got a
way.
lot of people ready to go on that in those areas. And people that have run water plants and sewage plants and electrical generations, stations, things like that.
Wow, someone's asking if um, General Flynn is a white hat or a black hat.
White hat.
That's what I thought. I mean, I don't even know why they said that, but they're, anyone who is a white hat, they're trying to put out information to make you think that they might be a black hat too. That there's a lot of going on there.
Yeah.
People.
All right. Now I go the other direction. See.
Let's see. Where are we going here?
Klaus, Sean, and the other cabals elites that headed to Antarctica. Uh,
Oh, we got someone here from Dublin, Ireland. Howdy.
oh,
Nice to
really?
see you. Yes, I have some Irish background. So, anyway, let me find another question here. Okay. I have different colored eyes. One eye is blue and my other eye is a blue, green, and brown. Okay. Can you ask Drake if there are ET races with different colored eyes?
Just like us, absolutely.
Is there anything else he can tell me about that? Why he has, but
Why
I've
you
seen that
got
with
it?
dogs too. Yeah. Why does he
Oh,
have it?
boy. You want to get into the genetic code, we can do that. And you could just be bored to the point of going to sleep on this show. Or, quite simply, your genetic code determines what you get. One eye or the other eye can be whatever color it wants, etc. Now, the fun begins when you see a person that's got what looks like a line right down their head. One side's white, one side's black. Same difference. The genetic code, our genetic codes, have been screwed with forever. And now we got us screwing with our own genetic code. And it probably is going to cause a big mess if we ain't careful. And I don't think they've advanced far enough to do any harm with it as of yet. I think the transition will happen before we get there. I hope.
I want, this was an interesting, that's Mr. Light Elite says, just wanted to say, if you know Masonry, the 33rds are called white hats. I'm not sure what that means, just something to think about. I don't see how they could be from what I know. So that's highly questionable, unless somebody decides to change their allegiance or, you know, we won't go into that too much. What about Nasara? Is that going to happen anytime soon?
Yes, you got to remember quantum banking is coming in, and that just sort of negates all debt.
Boy, that's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it
I've
is.
had some things hanging over my head for the longest time. That's why I don't even have a bank account at this time. Anyway, and through no fault of my own. I mean, sometimes things happen that you don't have any. Okay, does Drake like cannabis?
Do I what?
Somebody asked if you like cannabis. How does that mean? I mean, do you eat it? Do you
Yeah.
drink it? Do
Well, I
you...
like it a little bit too much. Now, the problem with doing any of that sort of thing, including drinking, is that it screws with the clarity of your mind, and I want to keep mine clear, so I don't drink and I don't smoke anyway.
And I don't associate with those that do. That used to be a saying. Anyway, I myself personally, I have certainly done that in the past, but I don't do it now. And I think right now we need a clear head. I think it's very important
Yep.
to keep a clear head because of what's going on and the energetics and so on. So there was another question here that I wanted to ask. Um, do you have any information on the quantum financial system other than that we're switching
Yeah,
over?
I got some. Everything that you're familiar with is going to change.
Okay. So
The
how
basis for bank accounts, the basis for money, all of it. It's going to be fun, fun, fun. People are going to go nuts in the financial field because they can't figure out what to do with something that doesn't comply with what they're familiar with. You're going to have to go back to grade school. 1 and 1 is 2. Oh, okay.
and they keep trying to tell us it's 3 and it's not. No.
Uh,
Let's see. What about the effects of some of the jabs? Will they be removed after the transition?
yes.
So that can be fixed in the etheric field. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Um, let's see. What about? Well, we're going to save the medbed subject for a little bit later because we have.
No, medbeds are a mechanical manifestation by a race that's advanced, but not as advanced as the ones that are going to be operating the transition. Now, by operating the transition, I mean helping us not fall over ourselves after we get there. And they're called holospheres. And they attend to everything. A med bed does not do that. So you have to be aware as to some limitations with the med beds. And the
Okay.
med beds take a long time.
I have to bring up a med bed that I just ran into, and I'd like people to know about it. And it's not the standard med bed that you climb into yourself. It's brought to you to your bedroom, and it's quantum, and it's in the etheric realm. And let me get the website for that. You can look it up. You can read about it. I haven't had a chance or an opportunity to try it myself, but it's absolutely awesome. I've told several people about it, and everybody that I know are going to give it a whirl. And you can find some testimonials on YouTube. I'm not making any medical recommendations or anything like that to diagnose or treat, and I have to say that, and you know why. But anyway, this is something you might want to try. You get 8 hours free, and it isn't anywheres in the ballpark of the med beds that Jared Rand and Brad Johnson are talking about, who I have been told, whether it's true or not, are cabal members. And we will see. So let me give you that. I'll put up that link in a minute here. It's okay. Oh, geez, I gotta see it here. I think it is. H. Oh, Christine, are you here? Can you put it in the chat? That would be really helpful. And there you go. Medbed 9010. That's it. That is it. And I think you can get it right at medbed.com. https://
I got a little something
medbed.com.
from the chat on the on this. Let's see here. On this side over here, it's on my left.
Mhm.
And it says, and Alex Collier opened his pie hole and says, everything's going to be done before Christmas. Well, Alex, wish you knew, but you don't. Sorry, that's right.
Well, I don't want to disrespect Alex. I really appreciate Alex a good
I
deal.
don't either, except that every once in a while he comes out with something that's just totally bogus. That's bogus. And he got to let him admit his mistake when he checks the numbers. The numbers, Christmas wise, don't line up with anything. That's why I say that's one reason I say it's bogus. Number two is that the people I have had conversations with about the transition say 2022. You don't like it? Well, have
Well,
you
see,
judged?
what happens is that sometimes these so-called predictions are made, and then certain things happen, and then those dates get changed, and that is one of the inherent problems with ever giving a date. Really,
This date can't be changed.
that would be nice.
Oh yeah. Put
Was there
yeah.
a land of the Tartarians
Yes.
with all the mudslides and all that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Okay. What about the tachyon bed? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
The tachyon gun.
Tachyon bed. It's
Oh, bed. Yeah. Well, tachyons have limited medical uses, from what I understand of it. Checked it out because somebody mentioned it to me, and therefore I don't recommend them. I recommend the med beds first. They're available. That's one thing. The holospheres that we're going to visit in mass come after the transition. So data points are pointing to yeah. Hernando got that right. I think it's Fernando. I can't.
I need my Drake fix. That's funny. We stopped doing shows for a little while, and we both needed a break anyway. But we're back now, and some people said they need a Drake fix to get that.
I don't give I don't shoot people up with my stuff,
Well,
be it blood or otherwise.
yeah, I think.
Drake is Merlin. No, I'm related, but I'm not Merlin. The Syrians have long as the problem is that that's the old ones. I could have come out actually has over the frequency. Yeah, well, the cabal in both Antarctica and the other one are to go through a portal after they surrender all of their critical information.
Okay.
Fallen angels. Just everybody needs to forget the fallen angel stuff. That's something the church come up with. Just that simple.
Oh, somebody said that the med beds by Jared Rand and possibly Brad Johnson as well can actually steal your soul, according to Patty. Do you know anything about that, Drake?
Sorry, I was reading it. Wasn't paying attention. Do it again.
That's one of the problems with the scrolling thing is that it
Yeah,
gets
I get just
distracting.
scrolling and go, ooh,
I can shut it off, so that's
No, leave it alone.
okay.
I'll just concentrate on the show more. Now, what was that last one?
About the med beds that Brad Johnson and Jared Rand are promoting, and they want millions of dollars to build a prototype, and then they want to sell them for like $60,000 a piece and stuff like that.
Well, those are the real ones.
Those are okay.
Or the
Wait a
most
minute.
prolific.
Let me finish before you go. Because one of the things that Patty said about those chambers are called celestial chambers. They said that it can steal your soul. So,
Oh boy,
Now, see, that's what I wanted to
If
finish.
you let somebody that don't like you very much operate the med bed, you're probably right. Those things would have to be directed by somebody, okay? And the machine's not that capable of that type of direction, not self-direction anyway. The thing about the med beds are the ones that you're talking about. As I said, they're the real ones. They're the most prolific of the med beds. Why they're charging so much, I have no idea. Why they don't have a few hours of free treatment, that's a good question.
See,
You'd have to ask the people that were promoting them.
okay.
Then, if you want to go the step further, like I said, everybody's seen the holodeck on Star Trek. Well, imagine one that fixes you. Now you know what a holosphere is, and it fixes you right down to the down below the atomic level. You got something in there that's nasty that shouldn't be there that nobody can detect. These things get it out of there.
Okay, well, someone said there, and we were just talking about the celestial chambers, about Rand. Patty said they were part of transhumanism.
Okay, the celestial chambers, from what I heard, are associated with a mechanism. Mechanisms fail at certain biological levels. Bear that in mind. You look it up, and you'll see what I mean. Just about everything I've talked about, except some certain information, is on the internet somewhere. Have fun finding it.
Somebody's asking, is Cabal and their minion politicians being removed in Australia and New Zealand?
Everywhere. They all go. If they don't want to go, they will be removed.
I was just so you have information. I recently did a show with Amanda New Earth, who is from Australia, and she had a lot to say there. So that might be a video that
I got friends in Australia, and they tell me it's horrific.
Yeah. Anyway, she's my friend, and she's from Australia, and we did a show together, and she's a psychic as well. So it's a pretty interesting show. Anyway, holosphere, is that how it is spelled, Drake? Do you see that?
Sort of.
Sort of, okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Patty said med beds are good, but celestial chamber is different, and she did say it was bad. So just for your information on that one.
Hi from Dublin, Ireland. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Turn up our microphone. Turn up your microphone. Both of us. Drake is misunderstanding your questions. No, I just wasn't paying attention the way I should have. I'll turn
mine. If we get it too loud, then we get echo. So,
yeah. Galactic updates. Yeah.
Let's see.
I like cannabis.
Are regressive reptilians still currently on Earth?
No, we threw them off. We had a special party for them, and we got rid of all of the ones that were causing problems that are reptilian. You have to understand, everybody's got a little reptilian in them because of the manner in which we were created. Now, some more than others. Cabal has 18 to 25%. We got maybe 3%. Give you just as an example. Okay.
Okay. People are asking questions about, will the med beds regress your age 30 or 40 years, or regrow your teeth, or regrow limbs, that kind of thing?
Okay, hold on. It's real simple. The situation with the transition is that when everybody experiences the transition, you are automatically re-imbued, re-endowed, or reconfigured to your 1800-year lifespan. And my 70 some years looks pitiful compared to that number. So I look at that and I go, that means I'm gonna be a kid again. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that, you know.
Yeah, I know. Same here. I'm looking forward to that one. What about the EBS? Is that really gonna happen, or is that not gonna happen? What's the story?
Define EBS.
Pardon?
EBS.
Yeah, the emergency broadcast system and the
Emergency broadcast system probably won't be involved too much with this. People who control that have been told not to turn it on and or use it when the landings start. You're going to have a whole bunch of flying saucers and UFOs, and they're all going to land. A lot of them are going to land in places that people aren't sure whether they ought to, like, you know, the federal government and the White House lawn. And well, everybody can freak out if they want. What you want to bear in mind is that this situation is going to be different from anything anybody's experienced before. Wait a minute, honey, so what is this?
Oh, you'll love that one.
Flint is dirty, huh? Well, okay, prove it. When does the transition end? In February, as far as I can tell so far. Also,
so that could change. Is that true?
Do what?
That date could change, possibly.
Well, I don't know what the date is within February, but I'm pretty sure it's within February. Let me see.
I've heard that there are benevolent reptilians. Is that true?
Oh yeah, you've got about 5 really distinctive races of reptilians, of which only 1.5 are funky. Okay.
Okay, I've got another question for you. They claim to have discovered miles and miles of gold underneath the Vatican, and I think in Switzerland too. Anyway, what happened to all that? And is that part of Gesara Nasara? And when are the little people, those of us that have had to struggle from month to month and so on, in paying rent, buying food, paying utilities and all that, when will people have some relief? Because I tell you what, people's vibrations would skyrocket if they didn't
look at February as the definitive month when the transition takes place, and all of these things are poof rectified. What do you mean you didn't get a light bill? I didn't get one. Well, I did. Well, you must be part of a real select group that they really like real well.
Oh, you're funny. Okay.
Well, what can I say? I mean, you know.
Let's see. What other questions we got that we could go on? Oh, what about the Three Gorges Dam and the big pharma computers under there, and the human trafficking that was under there? How are they rectifying that? And what is the status of the deep underground bases, military bases? Have they been all of
that goes poof. Okay. And by that, I use that loosely. You know what the morning fog in a valley looks like when the sun hits it? It's just gone. Well, that's what you're going to have with a lot of these people. Now, some of these people are to be rehabbed, and that's ET's business, not mine, where their mind will be changed. Now, I don't mean they'll take a rebuild starter and stick it in there. I'm talking about that they will cause the manner in which the people think to change to where they do no harm to anybody, whether it's themselves, you know, friends, neighbors, relatives, whatever. And you have to understand that as well, there is a big separation, and one big separation is between the mechanical and the spiritual. You can't put them together. They've been trying that for years. They did manage. Now I'm going to give you some classified information, which when I release it, it is no longer classified.
But
And that
you're
was,
able to do that. You're able to do
yes,
that. Okay.
I'm
I don't
legally
want to see
allowed,
you get in trouble.
I'm legally allowed to do that. Okay.
Okay.
The classified information is very simple. They managed to put uh, what you would consider spirit into a machine. Um, after it got done having hissy fits and jerking around and going, it went fluey. They haven't tried it since. Now everybody thinks that the virtual reality is really something to play with. Be careful. And the reason I say that is that the military did experiments and had people go poof. They didn't exist anymore. Ooh, where they went, they don't know. If they're alive, they don't know. Uh, if you turn them, and if one of the machines decides to blow its gasket and turn itself all the way up, you're in trouble. So I wouldn't play with those.
Will any of the dams in the United States come down?
No, you're going to have an adjustment of a lot of things, but in nature, one of the things about the adjustments that I'm talking about is where fish that go up and down the stream, whatever kind it might be, doesn't matter what kind of fish, will be the ability for the fish to go up and down the stream will be made available at all the dams. Now, the dams eventually will be done away with for the simple fact that we won't need that type of energy any longer.
Because we have free energy forthcoming, correct?
It's not free energy. Everybody says free energy.
Well,
Don't
is
what
it
they're going to
costly
do.
energy, or what's the right terminology then?
Dark energy would be a good one. That's such a humongous battery that won't ever run it down. The ideology of having batteries in cars running around, can you imagine what kind of a mess it would make when you have a wreck with one of those and all that battery acid goes everywhere? I wouldn't want to get fried in that chemical brew. Ooh. So as far as I'm concerned, electrical cars, when they get to the point where they no longer have batteries, then you got something to deal with. When you can collect energy from differing realms, sources, etc., and directly plug it into the engine, to the motor, to the electric motor, then you got something that you can use. The idea of transhumanism comes about because humans can't last long enough to make a long space trip. Well, that's real assumptuous of a lot of people that are supposed scientists, and they got alphabets and everything else next to their name and all this. There's a problem with that. You can't make the trip anyway. So how or what makes the speed of light look slow? Very simple. The speed of thought. Now, if everybody wants a little taste of it, it's real simple. Close your eyes and picture a place you've been. At the time you get that the clear picture, you're there. Now, if you are presented a picture of someplace across the other side of the galaxy, just that fast. You get to when the picture clarifies, you're there. Bingo. And you can travel 1,000,000 times the speed of light, and it'll still take you 1,000,000 times longer to get there than the speed of thought. The way ET operates their ships and travel at great distances, and this is the Palladians can get into the details if they wish when they get there. Places are light years away. Light travels 186,000 miles per second, or give or take. So you'd be traveling at a pretty good velocity, even if you get into the multiples. Let's go to 2 or 3, says Captain Kirk. Why not just do it like they did in that old antique movie, Dune, where you travel clear across the universe without moving. I mean, all of this stuff is out there, and nobody pays attention. And it really bothers me that they come up with this. Oh, you can't do that. Conservation, yeah, something you made up to compensate for a bunch of stuff you don't know. It's real simple. It's not
What about
complicated.
the Q phone? All of a sudden we got an echo.
You got an echo?
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Am I echoing?
No, I echoed, but now maybe I got too close to the microphone. I don't know. That was weird. Maybe they're listening. No.
Don't breathe on the microphone.
Okay, what about the Q phone? Have you heard about that? I think it's a quantum phone, supposedly. I don't know if it gives holographic pictures or
Yeah,
information.
I've heard of a bunch of things, and you can play Q all you want. The people I've heard it from are people that I met by way of David Wilcock when I had an interview with him a long time ago, and I had a long conversation about all of this stuff. The Q phone is basically an infrared phone. It allows you to talk on one place on the planet to another place on the planet instantaneously. In other words, electromagnetic radiation took time from Earth to the guys going to the moon. This thing doesn't. It's just exactly like a thing in antiquity called the talking stones. You'll find a small obelisk, and you'll find a series of benches around it, and you sit down and say, "Hello, is anybody there?" And 9 times out of 10, you get an answer back. Here's the interesting part. It don't matter if they are Latvian or Russian or whatever, or Chinese. It comes out in English to you. When they hear you on the other end, it comes out in Chinese. This thing automatically translates and automatically broadcasts and does so without any transmission of any kind anybody can figure out. It's like the talking wall.
Well, plus we're gonna have telepathy as well, right?
Yeah, and that's just as good as any kind of transmission or any kind of conversation you can have, connection with anybody, because it's instantaneous and it can't be screwed with.
Well, what's the story on the replicators? We talked about them quite a bit in the past, but are they going to be after the
There's going to be a bunch
transition?
of them. Imagine if you can, something about the size of a toaster oven that has a program in it. Now, think about a program, all right? You know about the program. We got a program where everybody's watching us on a program. Well, this program's a little different. It makes, it'll make ham and beans or any other kind of food you can think of. It'll replicate parts. Oh, my starter went out. Take the old starter and stick it in a replicator and turn it on repair, and then it'll automatically go ding, and then you turn it on replicate, and it replicates one. Then you get one that's been repaired and one that's brand new. Replicators are funny. They pull energy, dark energy, and transmute it into matter. The ETs have for a long time had the ability to transmute matter. That means take one kind of matter, make it into another. We've been able to do that. When you take wood and set it on fire, it turns into charcoal or whatever. And the only thing is that we don't really understand what all is going on. They do it electronically a whole lot quicker.
Yeah. Someone said that we had telepathy and it's kind of atrophied. And I think that's really true, because there have been a lot of times, depending sometimes how close you might be to somebody, because I think that increases its likelihood. But I thought of somebody and then all of a sudden they called, or who's calling when the phone rings, who it is, just
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Telepathy, let me explain something. Every one of the powers that you ever heard of, including miracles, each of us has the capability of being able to understand how you're doing the thing or how it works is totally different. Being able to specifically say, okay, you heard somebody else's thoughts, so you know that you got the telepathy thing going on. What about healing? People go, and somebody gets up from the dead and says, oh, thanks, man, I was missing lunch, or whatever. You get into what people consider weirdness, insanity, and craziness. The only problem is, I'd like to have one of those people explain a miracle. When somebody gets healed and they're totally clean from having a disease like cancer or whatever it might be, or leprosy or something, they can't. The modern science can't explain it. They don't know what happened. Maybe you went home to mama. Who knows? Well, you have to start asking medical people about this, and they lose it, And I think it's kind of funny to watch them get all frustrated.
So when we talk about transitioning, that includes everybody, even people that might be in prison or jail or what have you. You have
Might be
any,
who
if they were in jail or in prison or
you
whatever?
don't. Yeah, you're where you're at doesn't matter.
Okay. Um,
They'll find that the jail cell door is open, and the people will let him out too.
and people's whole entire frequency and everything will be changing too, won't it?
Not exactly. It's sort of like it's sort of like keeping the same frequency with a different waveform.
Oh, that's
That's what
interesting.
that would be a close analogy of the thing. In other words, we'll still be similar physically and whatnot, and mentally as to what we were. It's just that you're going to have little added things like, I get to walk through the walls. Oh, I don't want to go to the bathroom. Grandpa's in there, or whatever. You don't want to embarrass your neighbor if they ask you to use the bathroom, or scare the whatever out of the cat. I mean, it's just like, well, would the dog bark at me if I walked through walls? I give you 101 odds that it would. It's going to go roof, like, oh, really? And you keep coming through there, and then it's going to challenge you. Oh, what do you think you're doing? You're not supposed to do that. Now animals. Well, this is something that's very specific. Aren't going to be able to choose what they're able to do. Think about that very carefully. Not even the most intelligent animals. The dolphin's real intelligent. It won't be able to go through solid objects. Only humans will. Okay.
Interesting.
Oh, I tell you, I got to studying this, and I was given a really freaky kind of a book. It's not really a book, but it's a book. And I got to reading, and it's hard to put down. I read for, I think I was up for 3 days reading, learning things. So what
Now
can you
that's
do? What do
really
you
a
do with
good
that?
that's really a good book. What
Oh,
about people are asking because they're wondering, how long are we going to have to put up with this administration? Is that just going to all
until we
be what?
transition,
Oh, so we don't. Okay. Okay.
what's going to happen with the Three Stooges? Well, oh, haven't you watched the Three Stooges and got a good laugh? Well, keep watching and laugh out loud. I mean,
So we don't really have to worry about all these being taken down and all this kind of stuff. Is that what
no,
you're saying? Okay.
yeah.
So what's happening is anything happening in Antarctica?
There's several things happening in both Antarctica and uh, Arctica. There's a vortex at each one of them, so they can handle more of a volume quicker.
Is Trump coming back as a world leader?
That's a good question. He has the opportunity. Whether he exercises it or not is questionable. I think that I don't know if anybody that would be as astute at getting things accomplished as he was or is. And yet at the same time, I don't know if there's a lot of people who are willing to put up with this particular brand of BS because he's loaded with it. Whether, well, the character flaw, cussing somebody out
Idiosyncrasies.
when you cuss somebody out that's a world leader, they tend to remember that. And, so if you really wanted to get into what's happening, what they're going to do, probably, I don't say this absolutely, I say probably, is find somebody similar to that who would be representative of this country. Now, you got to remember, government structure is supposed to change dramatically. And by that, I mean it's going to be a representative of different areas in different countries all together as a big council. Okay, that big council is going to be cut down slowly. They're going to eventually get all of the information that they need into one generalized kind of area, and then they'll have one little piece of paper they can I got it all wrote down right here. Okay. Then they get to meet with the Earth Council, which will be a group of ETs, and they'll decide whether or not what we got on that paper has any importance. And by that, I mean, does it feed people? Does it take care of people's health problems and all that sort of thing? The benefits, in other words.
Is JFK Jr. alive?
Yes.
Okay.
JFK Sr. is not.
He recently died, from what I understand. Not when people thought he did. Let's see, here's one. Will we finally know the truth about creation source versus what all the religious traditions tell us?
That is going to be a funky issue for us to navigate because all of the truth is going to come out. The ET has the complete history of mankind from before it existed right up to date. And I'm not going to say, I'm just going to let everybody wonder, well, was it or isn't it? What's going on? Well, you'll find out. This thing will go bump in the night and you'll go, what the hell was that? You'll walk out in the living room and the cat will freak right out. It don't know me. I've had that cat forever, but something wrong here. This is going to be such a hell of a lot of fun in terms of roller coaster rider that I just can't. I don't have words to put it into to express it. It just
Mm-hmm. You don't think that they're gonna they won't keep kicking the can down the road, will they, about this transition or about?
They can't. It is an evolutionary process, and it's compressed into a specific time, and been expressed that 2022 is the year, and the only number that fits is 2. So I would say February of this year, poof, your world's about to change.
Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. We talked about this a long time ago. When you transition, okay, like things that are synthetic disappear. Like you might want to be wearing cotton.
Yeah, well, that might not be a bad idea. Just if you want to be standing there with no underwear or nothing, I mean, crowd of people. Now check the podium. Make sure that's real wood they're using, because you might have to have something to hide behind.
Oh my goodness! I don't think this is real wood.
What are you going to do when the emperor stands in front of the crowd? First, his clothes go poof, and then the podium goes poof. I mean, there's only a certain amount of places you can hide that sort of thing.
Okay, well, We're coming up on an hour and a half, and I think we might have to stop taking questions because it takes longer to um, process these things the longer the show is. So unless somebody has some real super critical question, we're gonna cut it off here. And so you got about 5 seconds to come up with a great question.
Oh, come on now. I can't scroll that and read that fast.
Okay. Well, people
Yes,
are
it will
wondering,
be. Go ahead.
what will it look like in February? What will the changes look like? And
Everything will seem to be the same. This is the neat part about this. Everything will seem to be the same, except that there'll be certain things like the cat freaking out over your presence or whatever, or a dog barking at you maybe, or you accidentally, or you don't have very good balance anyway. You step on a squeaky toy and you fall against the wall and find out that you're in somebody's bedroom, or closet, or what the hell's this? You climb back out and go, damn, and you touch the wall to see if it's real. Oh, it seems real. The kids are probably going to molest your mind in terms of the bathroom. They will probably run in and out through the walls and the door and everything, even no matter what you do. Well, kids are like that. I mean, now what you got to remember is that just is one thing, and this is something that everybody needs to really pay attention to. Real young kids have a lot of fun, and they have a lot of fun because they got this great imagination, and they haven't experienced a whole bunch of things yet. And they're just having a good time being a kid. Okay. When people get to a certain age, they turn around and look at each other and go, hey, you know what? I bet we can get away with a whole bunch of stuff if we just decided to do so. I mean, I got nice silvery hair. They wouldn't argue too much with an old man that just don't know the difference, or know no better, or don't act no better. The little kids and the grandpas and the grandmas are going to have a load of fun.
and won't even feel like grandmas and grandpas, will they?
No.
So I just want to say happy holidays to everyone and Merry Christmas to everyone. And thank you so much for listening. And thank you all the people that have sent cards and letters. And I really appreciate it because it really makes it all worthwhile. And I'm so much looking forward to this transition like everyone else. Believe me, everyone else. And also, don't forget, Drake has a blog talk radio every Saturday. What time's it at, Drake?
3 o'clock in the afternoon.
3 o'clock Eastern time.
Yes.
Okay. So remember that. You'll get some more Drake there. And we'll be back every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. And so I guess it'll be after Christmas then, won't it?
What?
When we come back next week.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I guess so too. I'd have to look at
We'd
the
be looking
calendar.
at,
Anyway,
well,
I'm
we'd
just
be
trying to
looking at,
stay so busy. But
that'd
anyway,
be that happy New Year's stuff that everybody likes to holler about.
yes. Well, we have so much to look forward to, and they keep saying the best is yet to come, and it's going to be fun too, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice to turn up the joy level and stop worrying about all this other crap that's going on? Don't let it bother you. Don't let it bother you.
I'm too old to let anything bother me. The only thing bothers me is my wife, and she's the only one who's got the right to do that, and I just turn her loose, and I don't worry about it. She just does her thing.
Alrighty then. Well, thank you, everyone. I think we're gonna call it a show or a wrap or whatever you want to call it, and we'll see you next week. Have a wonderful Christmas. Bye.